is called as a respiratory system. So as per the respiratory system is concerned, it is most related to what? Breathing exchange. Respire means what? Nothing but the breathing. So breathing is nothing but an act of respiration. What is it? Nothing but an act of respiration. You know that what is the breathing? When we inhale the oxygen and expel the carbon dioxide, that is called as breathing, isn't it? And what means the respiration? It's complete process up to the breaking down of food and taking of energy, isn't it? So breathing is just a form of act of respiration, and the respiration is a complete long process in which that the several steps has to be followed, and there is a liberation of energy. You know that the very important molecule that which liberate the energy is nothing but the oxygen. And in the process of respirations, you might have learned about that how the energy will be liberated. Not only the oxygen is required for our body. You know that suppose yourself, you are only taking the oxygen. Will you survive? It requires the food also. If you are taking enough food and has a good respiratory rates, definitely you will get enough energy. So before that, going to in detail, we first going to understand step by steps. So at the beginning, first we have to inhale the oxygen, and for that we have the different type of organs which is working to fulfill the demand of respiration. The most important organ are the nostrils, nothing but these two nose. So these two nose is nothing but a nostril, and therefore the nostril which open into the nasal cavity. Here inside that we have a nasal cavity, and the nasal cavity opens into the pharynx. You might have known before that also, pharynx. So the pharynx is therefore which is nothing but a kind of type of body parts in which communicate with the mouth and nasal parts. Mouth and nasal parts. Therefore, we have very important organs in our body that which communicates with the both the system, digestive system and respiratory system. If we fails to push the food inside our food pipe, then we get hiccups, or it may be a dangerous situation for us. So that is called as one pipe is esophagus and the other pipe is windpipe. That is called as trachea. You might have been known about it. So what happens? There is one of the flap-like organs that is called as epiglottis. What is that? Epiglottis. Whenever you are taking the respirations, it opens and the air which directly goes into the trachea, into the bronchi into the bronchis into the lungs alveoli. So the alveoli are nothing but a cluster of the air sac bodies, like a balloon. It's a cluster of air sac bodies which can be filled when you take the oxygen. It will fill, and when you expel the carbon dioxide, it will expel out. Isn't it? So therefore, once the air is coming from there, so the epiglottis, whenever you are eating the food, you might have been observed or you might not been observed that sometime for a fraction of second, you might stop your breathing. Have you observed it? Whenever you are eating the food, you feel that you have stopped your breathing. Or those who are older person, they eat a very slowly food. Why they are eating slowly? Because their body organs is not working effectively. That is why they are eating slowly, and their all parts which are not working properly, and that is why when your epiglottis is not working properly, what happens? That food will go into the respiratory tract, or that is a trachea, and whenever it goes into the trachea, you will feel the hiccups. And in this way, if your epiglottis is not working properly, then the food will go into the trachea. But when your epiglottis will not work properly, the most important condition is that whenever you are eating fast, when you are eating by watching something, by doing something, when you are not cautious properly. So when you have to eat the food, you have to be fully cautious about it, and you have to chew the food in such a way that the food should become very porous and bolus. There are people who says that they may have to chew the food around 42 times, but it is not possible. But we should have to chew the food in such a way that the food should become a very small fragment like particles, as well as it becomes a porous ball-like structure. Okay, so let's going to understand step wise. The first part which opens into the nasal cavity or nostrils. So nostril is nothing but the pair of tube-like structures which is opening into the nose. Okay, two pair of nostrils, which works as to taking the inside the oxygen and expelling the carbon dioxide. Therefore, we have the next organ is that the nasal cavity. So nasal cavity is also a part of the nose where it actually penetrates the air. You might have seen that your nose having the hairs. Have you observed it? As well as it also has a mucus gland. That mucus which actually whenever you are going by the polluted area, dusty area or very dirty areas, that time what happens? The hairs which present inside your nose which filters that dust, as well as they will stick with the mucus, and in this way they will not go inside your lungs and your alveoli will not get damaged. So in nasal cavity we have the mucus gland also. And the hairs that which actually filters the air. What is the major role of that? Hairs which has to filter the air and to pass the pure air inside your lungs. If you are not getting the pure air inside the lungs, what happens? The dust particle will go into the lungs alveoli and they will block it. Because your lungs alveoli are very small, tiny, pore-like structures which actually, when the dust particles are going inside your nose, they will directly damage your nose. That is why sometimes we can use the mask as well as, or maybe if you are not using, but natural filters which can help us to cope with that problem. If there is a very little dust or very rare dust, but if there is an excessive dust, then you have to use a mask or some remedial treatment that which help us to control the pollutions. Okay. Therefore, we have the pharynx. So pharynx is nothing but a passage between the mouth and nose, and therefore the air which goes into that tract. There is a fourth point is that the epiglottis. So this epiglottis plays a very important role, that it makes a boundary between the respiratory system and digestive system. So if it fails to pass the food into the digestive system or in the esophagus, the food will go into the trachea, which causes the hiccups or maybe any problem. So epiglottis is a flap-like organs which help in which to push the food into the esophagus or digestive system. What is the major role of it? To push the food into the esophagus or digestive system. But if it fails, we may get hiccups, because to come out that particular particles which enter into the respiratory system, you have your lungs which helps to get hiccups and they will pull it out of your mouth. So the next point is that the trachea. So what is the trachea then? So trachea is nothing but a kind of pure respiratory system parts which actually takes the oxygen and expel the carbon dioxide. And how it is made? It is made by the cartilage. You might have observed here by pressing or this just you can put your fingers, you can see that there is a cartilage like structure. So that structures which actually is nothing but the trachea, which is further branched into the bronchi, and which further branched into the bronchioles. So sixth part is nothing but the bronchi. So what is a bronchi then? Bronchi is nothing but a further network of the respiratory system. So here we are going to draw the diagram of respiratory system. So you will notice that how is our respiratory tract. Drawing the roughly diagram, you can understand it, what actually the structure it looks like. You see under see that here, as per the internal structure of respiratory system is concerned, this is a trachea. What is it? Trachea, which further branched into the two parts, that is called as bronchi. It is called as bronchi. This bronchi, which further divides into the bronchioles, the small branches like structures. So this small branches like structures. These small branches which further divides into the bronchioles, and that bronchioles, the tip of the bronchioles, which consists of the cluster of alveoli. The cluster of alveoli is nothing but a kind of balloon-like structures, which has a role to take oxygen and supply to the whole body.